Hi there, I'm Nick Allgeyer with the Toronto Blue Jays, and you're listening to The Walk-Off with Scott Belford and Adam Mack.
For the listeners who might not recognize your name, you were in High A Dunedin at the end of 2019, and you were always kind of a guy that was known for above average control, messing up hitters' timing, pandemic hits, right? No minor leagues, and yet your stock really has risen up the Jays' pitching ranks. You added velo to your fastball. The reports are saying that there are tangible changes in your stuff in the last year. What did you do over the minor league shutdown to kind of put yourself in a position where you're at right now to be at big league camp in a very tough year developmentally? You made a lot of progress.
Yeah, one of my always has been one of my favorite parts of the game is training and kind of away from the game, as you can say. And I basically had over a year, or right at a year and a half, because of the previous offseason, to basically just do training. And then I did training all of 2019's offseason and then into 2020 at Premier Pitching and Performance in St. Louis. They were a huge help. And then when we got sent home from spring training, we were kind of in a holding pattern for a little bit. And then I started doing some more of getting into off-season training, as we saw we probably weren't going to go back. And then threw some innings to some hitters and tried to simulate some games, and threw close to 90 innings at home. But I mean,
wow,
it's definitely different than what you would like see in an actual year. But we had probably 10 or 15 hitters around the St. Louis area that would come and hit off all the minor league pitchers that we had training. So it was good. It was fun.
It must have been pretty exciting to kind of see that sort of development in a year that maybe some guys didn't make the progress that you made.
Yeah, you never know about that kind of stuff. You pretty much got to worry about what you're doing and what I can do to get better myself. I saw it as a time to train, and like I said, that's part of the fun for me is training and doing velocity training, throwing different weighted balls and all that kind of stuff.
Well, you just kind of touched on it there. I'm curious about like the increase in velocity you had was fairly substantial. You know, you added 4 to 5 miles an hour to your fastball. You were averaging 89-ish. You're touching 95 now. So how do you go about adding that sort of velocity? Was it mechanics or is it just like hitting the gym? Like, how was your process about that?
It's kind of everything. Definitely working out and getting stronger and quicker, faster, getting more explosive. Those kind of, after you put on the strength, and I put on a little bit of weight from the season I was in Dunedin, and then trying to transfer that over and get more explosive with it. And then yeah, I did. I have always done some weighted ball, plyo ball throwing since my sophomore year of college. Um, And then the one thing I thought was the most help was I did a long toss velocity program that was playing long toss 4 times a week, and some kind of a differential blend with a 6-ounce ball and a 4-ounce ball, and a 5-ounce ball, obviously. But those kind of differential weights, 1 ounce heavier than baseball, 1 ounce lighter than baseball. Playing long toss with some of that. Yeah, go ahead.
For those who don't know what long toss is, you're kind of just explain it here, I guess, for the listener.
Yeah, so like a basic game of catch is goes out to probably 60 to 90 feet, I would say, and then long toss is keep backing it up, trying to increase how far you can throw with some air under the ball. I would go to my max distance and try to throw. Like obviously at the end, I would be getting to throw it as far as I could, which therefore is going to increase how hard you have to throw it.
Right. So that's what you're doing. You're training your muscle kind of thing.
Yeah, just trying to throw it as far and as hard as I can on those certain days.
So this really impressed me, buddy. And it's been mentioned by a few of your former managers. It was mentioned several times within the system that you're one of the hardest workers in the Blue Jays organization, which is no small feat. And you did kind of touch on that just that you really enjoy the training side of the game. What keeps you focused to keep putting in the sort of work?
It's just your vision of where you want to get to and what you want to do in the game of baseball. So I haven't accomplished all that I want to accomplish in the game of baseball. So you keep pushing forward. And one thing I like to use is I don't like to talk about goals as much as more of like having a system in place, because I think when you have goals, like there's like an ending point there. And when you have a system of how you want to go about your business every day, then you can keep pushing along and just keep going through checkoffs as opposed to goals. And there's never really an end when you have a system in place to go about your business every day. And that's kind of how I look at it.
That's a good mindset. That's a really good mindset, actually. And I know one thing that about the MLB, and whether it's fair or not, is that the higher ranked prospects, the guys drafted in those first 3 rounds, they get a little bit more leeway, right? A little bit more rope. But I mean this with the utmost respect. Obviously, you're no bonus baby, right? Like, you were drafted in the 12th round in 2018, and yet you have found a way to get noticed. So we talked about your work ethic, but what has your mental approach been, knowing that you have maybe not quite as many chances as, say, a guy taken in the second round? Or do you even take that into account and just try and continue to focus on yourself?
Yeah. No, I really didn't, or even free agents. So I don't think I don't think it's gonna help you in any way to look at it like that and focus on negative thoughts like that. I kind of just, like I said, just try to do what
You're
I
like,
can
don't
to
bring
get
up
better.
the negative side of this, bud. What are you doing?
Yeah,
So you're a Missouri boy, correct?
correct. Yeah,
And you played a little hockey
born and
growing
raised
up.
in St. Louis.
Born and raised in St. Louis. You a Blues
Oh yeah, I
fan?
love. I am. Yes,
Yeah,
been to a lot of
2019.
Blues games in my life.
Yeah, 2019 must have been pretty exciting for you, eh? To finally watch them hoist the cup.
Yeah, yeah, that was awesome. We actually had our, I think, our last game or second to last game of the first half in Dunedin, that when they won Game 7. I was watching it. I watched the end of it on the bus.
Were the other guys laughing at you a bit? You must have. Were you like the only guy who was into it?
No, so there was actually a couple of guys. We had one of our coaches, Jake, he worked with Dunedin, and he's going to be in AAA this year. He's from Boston, so he was on the other side of it. But then we
Jay,
also
yeah.
had John Harris. John Harris is in the org, and he was doing a rehab stint down in Dunedin. So me and him were both on the blue side watching it.
Nice. He's a
It
Missouri
was
boy
pretty
too, is
fun.
he? Yeah, that's great,
Yeah, he's
man.
from St.
What
Louis as
position?
well.
What position did you play when you were playing hockey?
I was a forward.
And you played in high school, correct? You were actually even sort of considering going junior.
I wanted to. I don't know that I was going to be good enough. I could have gone and played somewhere, but it wouldn't have been very high level. But yeah, I started playing when I was 3, and I played all the way through high school.
Oh, you're gonna endear yourself to the Canadians' hearts. That's great.
Yeah, I'm a big hockey fan, and it's one of my favorite sports.
That's awesome, man. Did you play any other sports growing up? Do you enjoy playing any other things?
I also played football in high school, and then growing up, I played a little bit of basketball, but I was not very good at basketball. And then I started picking up some golf when my first job was a caddy, and I started that when I was in like 6th grade, and then I started playing golf around like freshman year of high school, and I've started to play that a lot more now that I'm a PO, pitcher
Yeah,
only.
man. So golf must be pretty prevalent in that clubhouse. I know we literally talked to Adam Kloffenstein as soon as we're done with you here, and he was supposed to be on the show on Tuesday, and his golf game ran long. And I know we also talked to CJ Van Eyck, and golf, he was like, golf's my number one. He's like, if I could be a pro golfer, I would. So do guys in the clubhouse, are you guys out playing together or what?
Yeah, we try to get out with each other. I've played a couple times since November. St. Louis hasn't had the best weather, but try to get
Yeah.
a little bit more down here.
Yeah, I can imagine. Um, So it must be pretty exciting for you to be at big league camp and kind of be able to pick the brain of so many pitchers. Like, are guys talking shop all the time? What is kind of the dynamic in that clubhouse right now? Uh, if you've got a guy on your team, are they pretty much an open book? Like anything you want to know, any info that they can share, they do. Do guys keep anything close to the vest?
No, most people are available and willing to share. It's a little different this year as opposed to, I'm assuming, what years previous have been because of COVID. So they kind of have us spread out all over the complex, and
Right.
there's like I think only like 26 guys in the big league clubhouse, and then we have another 20 in the clubhouse that I'm in, and I think there's 4 locker rooms, and we're all kind of spread out in there. But it's cool to talk shop with some of the coaches, and we have some meetings. But most of the big leaguers that I've talked to are very open with sharing anything that you'd want to ask them, and it's been a real good experience so far.
How has your pitching approach changed over the years?
A little bit just in the past year is I'm trying to attack a little bit more. You know, when you were throwing 88 to 90, as I was in Dunedin in college, hitters are a little bit more in swing mode, trying to attack you. A little uptick in velocity, and some of my other stuff has started to play better. It allows me to throw in the zone more and not have to pick edges as much, and kind of attack the zone and have more good things happen for me.
Do you feel more confident being able to put a little bit more zip on that fastball? Like, does it make a difference?
Sure.
It doesn't make a difference mentally. It does, eh?
Yeah, for sure. Especially like I wasn't one that would get a whole bunch of swing and misses on my fastball, and then when you try to throw one hard and you get a swing and miss, it gives you a little extra boost of confidence. It's the same as what a hitter would have if they hit a home run. You know, next plate appearance, they're gonna have a little more juice in them.
Swagger there, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like watching? Because what have you kind of topped out at? I know I was reading 95. Have you hit 96, 97? Like, what's that feeling when you hit a number like that? Even though you're not supposed to dwell on that, and it's about mixing your pitches and all that, right? Like, what's that feeling when you watch like 97 pop up?
Yeah. You want to throw it again, and you want to throw it harder. It depends. Obviously, it depends where you're at. I haven't thrown in any actual games since like a little uptick just because of COVID. But when you're at home throwing bullpens, or you're throwing to hitters on a live BP, and you turn around, you see 95, you're like, okay, let's try to throw this one harder. It usually doesn't work out. It usually doesn't go harder, but it's still fun, especially when you have other guys you're competing with, trying to throw harder than them too.
Honestly, Nick, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, man. It means a lot, and we really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me, man. I'm anxious to see if I'm going to get roasted for my bad Wi-Fi.
We would love to chat with you again once you kind of figure out where you're landing.
For sure. I'll be a reoccurring guest.
Awesome. Right on, Nick.